The cost of pathetic standards. Your standards are pathetic. That's why your life looks the way it does. Don't flinch. You know I'm right. Every result you have right now, your relationships, your bank account, your body, your habits is the direct reflection of the standards you tolerate. Not the dreams you post about, not the affirmations on your mirror. The standards you quietly accept when no one's watching. Look around your life for 5 seconds. Who you date, how you eat, how you spend your hours, what you allow people to get away with. That's not random. That's your bar. That's the invisible line you set and then stepped over to keep the peace. Here's the first harsh truth: you don't get what you want. You get what you tolerate. People treat you at the level you allow, not the level you fantasize. If you let someone cancel on you 10 times, that's your standard. If you keep dating people who drain you, that's your standard. If you accept being paid scraps for your work, that's your standard. Second harsh truth. Low standards don't just kill your respect, they kill attraction. Nobody respects the person who says one thing and does another. Attraction isn't built on looks or charm. It's built on the energy of self-respect. When you have none, you bleed neediness, and neediness is kryptonite. Third harsh truth: you've confused patience with cowardice. You tell yourself you're being understanding, when in reality, you're just afraid to lose scraps. You wait for people to change while they're busy enjoying the perks of your spinelessness. Look at your relationships. How many times did you say never again only to accept the same garbage behavior? How many times did you promise yourself you'd stop texting back so fast, only to cave within minutes? How many times did you claim you wanted a healthy partner while entertaining the same toxic chaos because it gave you a rush? This isn't about them. It's about you. They're not the problem. Your pathetic standards are. Let's break it down. Attraction dynamics are merciless here. The person who enforces standards commands respect. The person who wavers becomes background noise. Humans are wired to test. Lovers test. Friends test. Bosses test. Life tests. And every time you fail, you reinforce the message, I'll accept less. Think of it this way. Your standards are like a price tag on your forehead. Right now, you're on clearance, discounted, bargain bin self-worth, and you wonder why the wrong people keep showing up. You priced yourself low, and the scavengers came running. Let's make this more personal. You want a better partner, but you tolerate half-hearted texts and flaky behavior? You want financial freedom, but you tolerate hours of scrolling and calling it rest? You want confidence, but you tolerate self-talk that's pure poison. The equation is brutal but simple. Your standards equal your outcomes. Raise them, and your life rises. Keep them where they are, and you die in quiet resentment. So how do you raise them? Not by talking louder, not by posting about your self-love journey. You raise them by refusing, by saying no, by walking away, by drawing lines so clear that people can trip on them. Practical starting point. The zero tolerance list. Write down 3 things you will no longer accept. Maybe it's disrespectful communication. Maybe it's working weekends for free. Maybe it's just one more chance. Write them. Burn them into your brain. And the next time one shows up, enforce it. No hesitation, no debate. Here's the pushback coming up in your mind. But if I raise my standards, people will leave. Correct. They will. And that's the point. Your standards are a filter. They're supposed to repel the unqualified. Stop crying when the wrong ones walk out. Start celebrating the space you just created for the right ones. You're scared of being alone. That fear has kept your standards chained to the floor. But here's the paradox: you only attract quality when you can stomach solitude. If you'd rather fill the void with junk, don't expect diamonds to appear. Let's be clear, raising your standards doesn't mean demanding perfection from others. It means demanding consistency from yourself. If you claim you value honesty but keep lying to avoid conflict, you just lowered your own bar. If you claim you want discipline but keep binging distractions, you just declared mediocrity your king. Here's the mindset shift. Your standards are not rules for them, they're rules for you. If your standard is respect, You don't chase disrespect. If your standard is health, you don't keep buying poison. If your standard is growth, you don't spend years in relationships that suffocate. Your life is a mirror. Stop blaming the mirror for reflecting trash when you're the one piling it up. So what's the first move? Pick one corner of your life and raise the bar by 10%. Not 100. 10. Sleep an hour earlier. Refuse one disrespectful comment. Put your phone away for one focused hour. The ripple is insane. People sense it. Your own brain senses it. Standards are contagious, but be warned, when you start enforcing, you'll trigger resistance. People who benefited from your low bar will rage. They'll call you selfish, cold, changed. Wear it as a medal. Translation: you stopped letting me leech off your weakness. Good. Keep going. Final slap for this section: your pathetic standards are the reason you're exhausted, disrespected, and lonely in crowded rooms. Stop negotiating with your worth. Stop discounting your life. Raise the price tag. If you don't, you'll keep drowning in crumbs while convincing yourself it's a feast. Raise your standards, or stay clearance forever. Attraction, power, and the violence of low standards. Low standards don't just make your life mediocre, they make you invisible. And nothing kills attraction faster than invisibility. Let's stop pretending. You want respect. You want love that feels alive. You want to walk into a room and have people notice without you having to beg. But here's the uncomfortable truth: nobody notices someone who tolerates trash. The world doesn't admire the agreeable, it admires the decisive. The one who draws a line and doesn't move it. You keep thinking your niceness will win hearts. It won't. Niceness is cheap. Respect is rare. Why attraction dies? Psychology. First, attraction is about perceived value. People aren't drawn to need. They're drawn to energy that says, I don't bend for crumbs. When your standards are pathetic, you leak the opposite signal: I'll accept anything. Please just stay. And people run from that. Not because they're cruel, because biologically, humans are wired to test boundaries. It's survival. If you collapse every time someone pushes, they know you can't lead. They know you can't protect yourself, let alone them. Shocking truth. Number one, every test you fail kills attraction. Not just a little, entirely. That one more chance you thought was love, it was the exact moment they lost respect for you. Shocking truth. Chukka 2. Attraction isn't killed by conflict. It's killed by compliance. People can forgive fights. They don't forgive weakness, because weakness is boring. Shocking truth. Turner 3. Your fear of losing them is the very reason you keep losing them. You think tolerance buys security. It buys contempt. They stop seeing you as a partner and start seeing you as a tool. Power Dynamics 101. In every relationship, romantic, professional, even friendships, there's a silent negotiation happening. Who sets the frame? Whoever sets it wins. Whoever accepts it disappears. If you always text first, they hold the frame. If you cancel your plans whenever they flake, they hold the frame. If you water down your opinions to keep them comfortable, they hold the frame. And the one who holds the frame controls the dynamic. Attraction flows to control. Respect flows to control. That's not cynicism. That's psychology. So here's the gut punch: your standards determine who controls your life. How low standards train people. Every time you fold, you train them. You train them that disrespect is free. You train them that attention is unlimited. You train them that you'll bend because you're scared of being left. And once trained, they don't forget. They just play the game you allowed. That's why you feel drained, not because people are evil, but because you advertise yourself as disposable. The shift: raising standards as a filter. Let's get tactical. You don't raise standards by talking about them. You raise them by enforcing them. Silently, without apology. 1. Minimum response rule. If someone's inconsistent with communication, you don't chase. One-word answers. No problem, mirror back the same. Watch who doubles their effort. Watch who vanishes. Both answers are gold. 2. Non-negotiable boundary. Pick one behavior you've tolerated for too long: lateness, disrespectful tone, manipulation. Next time it happens, call it once. If it repeats, you exit. No warning, no speech, just gone. 3. Energy audit. At the end of every week, list the 3 people who drained you most. Ask yourself, if I raised my standards, would they still be here? If the answer is no, you know what needs pruning. This isn't cruelty. This is selection. Birds don't apologize for flying south when winter comes. They follow their standard for survival. Your standards should be the same. The emotional fallout. Be prepared when you raise your bar. 2 things happen. The wrong people leave. They'll insult you on the way out. They'll call you selfish, arrogant, changed. Let them. They're confessing their dependence on your weakness. The right people lean in. They'll adjust. They'll rise to meet your new line, because quality seeks quality. But here's where you usually fail: you panic in the gap. That quiet space between losing the wrong ones and attracting the right ones, you call it loneliness. It's not. It's recalibration, your standards, and self-attraction. Let's talk about the most important dynamic: your relationship with yourself. When you tolerate trash from others, it's because you already tolerate trash from yourself. You skip workouts. You binge distractions. You settle for cheap dopamine instead of real progress. That's why you accept disrespect from people. It matches the disrespect you already show yourself. Want to raise your external standards? Start with the internal. Keep one promise to yourself every day. Doesn't matter how small. Go to bed when you said you would. Drink the water you said you'd drink. Write the page you said you'd write. Because once you stop betraying yourself, you'll stop letting others betray you. The final slap for this section. You think raising standards is about others. It's not. It's about you finally refusing to play life on clearance mode. And here's the paradox you need to tattoo on your brain: the moment you'd rather walk alone than tolerate crumbs. You'll stop being alone. People respect gravity. Become it. Your pathetic standards have been costing you attraction, respect, and energy. The fix isn't complicated. It's brutally simple: demand more by tolerating less. Raise the bar, or get buried under it. Reprogramming the standard from pathetic to powerful. Your life right now is the sum of compromises you swore you'd never make. And the worst part, you don't even notice anymore. You've normalized mediocrity. You tell yourself, this is just how things are. No, this is how you allowed them to be. And unless you violently reset your standards, this is how they'll stay. Let's rip it open. The psychology of standards. Standards aren't wishes. They're rules. They define what you'll never tolerate and what you'll always deliver. When your standards are pathetic, you confuse goals with boundaries. Goals are optional, nice-to-haves. Boundaries are non-negotiable. Here's where you keep failing. You say, I want respect, but you let people talk down to you. You say, I want health, but you eat like your body is a trash can. You say, I want success, but you spend more time scrolling than executing. That's not ambition. That's self-sabotage. Shocking truth. For one, the life you hate is the exact life your current standards demand. Nothing more, nothing less. Shocking truth. Jeremy 2. Every excuse you make is just a cover for cowardice. I'm tired, I'm stressed. I'll start Monday all code, for I'm scared to hold myself to a higher bar. Shocking truth. Chore 3. Standards are contagious. If your circle's bar is low, yours will sink. If they treat sloppiness like normal, so will you. That's why you can't fix yourself without auditing your environment. Why standards equal identity? Standards aren't about rules on paper. They're about who you are in motion. Your identity and your standards are twins. You can't claim one without living the other. If your identity is disciplined, your standard is, I don't skip the work. If your identity is high value, your standard is, I don't chase crumbs. If your identity is leader, Your standard is I set the frame, I don't follow it. But here's the kicker, you don't earn identity first. You enforce standards first. Identity follows. You don't become disciplined, then show up. You show up, and discipline becomes you. The reprogramming framework. Let's cut the fluff. You need a system. Here it is. Decide, declare, enforce, replace. Step 1. Decide, pick one standard to raise this week, not 10. 1. Maybe it's your sleep. Maybe it's communication in relationships. Maybe it's your work ethic. But pick one bar you know is embarrassing right now. Step 2. Declare, say it out loud. Write it. Tell a friend you trust. Not for applause, for accountability. If you keep standards hidden, you'll break them in silence. Example. From now on, I don't explain no twice. Simple, public, real. Step 3. Enforce. This is where most of you fold. You'll face pushback. People will test. That's the point. Enforce anyway. One clean enforcement is worth more than 100 motivational quotes. Step 4. Replace. Every standard you kill must be replaced. If you stop tolerating late-night binging, replace it with a nightly wind-down routine. If you stop tolerating disrespectful partners, replace your energy with solo projects or friends who uplift. Subtraction without replacement creates relapse. Practical drills. The 3-strike journal. Track one standard daily. 3 strikes in a week. Reevaluate why you're tolerating failure. Don't gaslight yourself with "I'll do better." Diagnose. Fix. The red line rule. Pick a behavior you will never cross again. Draw a red line in your notes app. Every time you're tempted, read it. Example, I never beg for attention. The anchor habit. Link your new standard to a daily anchor. For instance, every time you brush your teeth, you reaffirm, I don't tolerate disrespect. Simple repetition builds identity, relationships, and standards. Let's talk attraction again. If your standards are low, your dating life will be chaos. Why? Because you'll keep confusing chemistry with compatibility. Chemistry feels like fire. Compatibility feels like respect. Standards demand you choose the second. Even when your body screams for the first, you're addicted to drama because your bar is underground. You chase the thrill of inconsistency, then cry about being abandoned. Stop. High standards flip the script. Instead of begging for love, you filter. Instead of proving your worth, you protect it. Instead of chasing, you attract because self-respect radiates. Environment and standards. Here's the hidden killer, your circle. You can't raise standards in a swamp. You can't demand greatness while surrounded by mediocrity. If your friends clown you for leaving the bar early to work, they're anchors. If your peers normalize cheating or ghosting, you'll adopt that energy. If your workplace glorifies burnout, you'll start wearing it as a badge. Audit your environment. Cut what drags you down. Add what forces you up. Harsh. Yes. Necessary. Absolutely. The shift this week. Replace. What will they think of me with? What does this decision say about my standards? That one shift flips every choice from approval-seeking to self-respect. Before every text, every yes, every bite, ask, what bar am I setting here? If the answer's low, stop, raise. Final slap for this section. You don't need a new life plan. You don't need a miracle. You need to stop lying about your pathetic standards and raise one bar today. Because here's the truth, your future isn't hiding in your dreams, it's hiding in your standards. And right now, yours are embarrassing. Raise them, or watch your life stay the punchline. Liberation, living with ruthless standards. Let's stop sugarcoating it. Your standards are your destiny. Keep them pathetic, and you'll die invisible. Raise them, and everything, attraction, respect, opportunity shifts in your orbit. By now, you've seen it, your patterns, your excuses, your cheap negotiations. You've been living as if life rewards intentions. It doesn't. Life rewards enforcement, and enforcement only comes when you decide your bar is sacred. The brutality of enforcement, raising your standards, is not about posting affirmations. It's about enforcement under pressure. Anyone can talk high when it costs nothing. The test comes when it costs everything. Your partner disrespects you. Do you enforce or do you fold? Your boss underpays you. Do you enforce or do you rationalize? Your body craves junk. Do you enforce or do you give in? That split second, that's your life. That's where destiny is forged. Here's the harshest truth: you've trained yourself to betray yourself. Every time you said, just this once, you carved weakness deeper into your brain. No wonder your confidence is trash. You've proven to yourself again and again that your words mean nothing. You think confidence is magic? It's not. Confidence is the quiet certainty that you will enforce your own standards. No matter what. That's it. Nothing mystical, just ruthless consistency. Attraction and standards. Why they're twins? You want to be wanted? Fine. Here's the secret nobody else will say. Desire follows standards, not smiles. A man or woman who enforces their line without blinking is magnetic. Not because they're cruel, because they're rare, and rare is irresistible. When your standards rise, your energy shifts. You stop chasing, and people start leaning in. You stop apologizing, and people start listening. You stop tolerating crumbs, and people start offering meals. But remember, the first stage of raising standards feels like loss. People will leave. Opportunities will shrink. The pool narrows. That's not failure. That's filtration. It's the price of gravity. And then something happens. The air clears. The right people, the ones who meet your line, appear. Not instantly, but inevitably. Because energy attracts its equal. The loneliness illusion. Here's the trap that keeps you pathetic. The belief that raising your standards means being alone forever. Wrong. The loneliness you fear is not true loneliness. It's detox. You're not alone. You're just free from parasites. You're just unlearning addiction to crumbs. Detox hurts. Your nervous system will scream for old patterns. You'll crave attention like a drug. But if you survive the withdrawal, you'll discover something shocking: peace. The kind of peace that comes from not betraying yourself every damn day. And from that peace, real connection grows. Standards in every arena. This isn't just about love, it's about everything. In work, stop accepting poverty wages for soul-sucking jobs. Raise your standard. Demand more, or build something yourself. In health, stop treating your body like a landfill. Raise your standard. Fuel it like you plan on living. In friendship, stop surrounding yourself with complainers and clowns. Raise your standard. Sit in silence before you sit in poison. In mindset, stop letting trash thoughts run your day unchecked. Raise your standard. Police your own mind like it matters, because it does. Every corner of your life bends to the standard you enforce. Every single one. The identity rebuild. When you live with higher standards, you don't just change habits. You change identity. You stop being the person who tries. You become the person who doesn't tolerate less. That shift is visible. People sense it. They feel it in how you walk, how you speak, how you pause before saying yes. Standards radiate without words. And the final paradox: the moment you'd rather walk alone with high standards than stay surrounded with low ones, you'll never walk alone again. The universe abhors empty space. Clear it, and quality rushes in. The final slap: stop lying to yourself. Stop pretending your low standards are kindness, patience, or humility. They're not. They're cowardice. And cowardice costs more than rejection ever will. The choice is here. Keep your pathetic standards and keep living on clearance. Or raise them and feel the world rearrange around you. It's not complicated. It's brutal, but it's simple. Raise your standards or stay invisible.